Hello friends, welcome to this new tutorial. Today I have here the Samsung Galaxy S21. The problem on it is the screen is broken. So in this video I will show you how to replace the screen on this Samsung Galaxy S21. Okay, so to replace the screen we will need a new screen. So this is the screen that I have. The screen, as you see, it comes with the frame pre-installed on it. And also make sure when you are ordering the screen, make sure the screen is in the same color like the one that you have. As you see here, mine is not the same color like this one, so the back color will not match with this, but this is what I have today. So I'm just gonna go ahead and show you how to replace it. So the color, it doesn't matter, but maybe for some people yes it does. Okay, so we will need a new screen, and then we will need some tools. We will need a double sticky adhesive, a nice sesame, Phillips screwdriver, seam tool, ejector, tweezers, flathead screwdriver, and some plastic like this or this, or maybe, let me see, I have another one somewhere here. Yeah, we need like thick plastic, something like this. I mean strong but not too thick. All right, and I think that's all what we will need. The back on this phone, it's plastic, so we don't need the heat gun to heat it up to remove it, because if we heat it up with the heat gun we will melt it, so we don't need we don't want to melt the back. I think that's all what we will need. So let's start. The first thing we will need to do, we're gonna use the IC semi, and we will make a small gap here in this corner, just a small gap. Make sure don't wiggle like this or pray up, just insert the IC semi and make a small gap like this. And then we will need, we will use this plastic. We'll insert it here, and then we will remove this, and we will just move it all around the frame like this. And when we are here, we're just gonna like wiggle like this until we release the camera lens. If it's hard for you here, we can just go from the other side and finish the job like this. Make sure don't insert this plastic all the way inside, because you may cut some cables there. So make sure you just use the tip of it. Alright, I think now we may be able to remove it without any problem. So it's still glued within this side here. I'm just gonna remove it. Okay, so this is the back. We're gonna put it aside here, and then the phone is still on, as you see, but the screen is broken. So now what I'm gonna do, I will remove all the screws from here, and I'll be back. I will use the Phillips screwdriver. Alright, so I removed all the screws, but I left 3 of them here. 1, 2, 3, and I still have 2 more here. Okay, we'll let you know about them later. Alright, so now what I'm gonna do, I will remove this bracket. This is the wireless charging part. It has this cable connected here. Make sure don't cut this cable here, okay? Alright, so now I'm gonna disconnect the battery, and then I will disconnect this cable. You see the 2 screws that I didn't remove, they are for this part here, so I'm just gonna remove it right now. All the screws are the same, so I just want to lift it here, just to show you that this is a part that needs to be removed from here carefully. So I'm just gonna pull it gently. So I will use these tweezers and go underneath from here and remove it. Okay, then I have another one right here. It has 2 screws. I already removed one from here, and I remove now this. And before I remove this from here, I will remove this top part. Sometimes it may, let me see. Okay, I removed it. Alright, then I have this cable here. I disconnect it, and then I will pull gently this part out from here. Okay, alright, so then I will disconnect all the cables. And we will remove this. We will remove this bracket here in the bottom. Make sure when you are using these tools, make sure don't damage anything. If you find that you are not using the right tool, try to change it. So I'm using now the flathead screwdriver, and I'm just trying to find a way where I can remove it. So while you are trying to pry up this, you may damage something here, so be careful. So don't go deep inside. Alright, so now what we're gonna do, we will disconnect these cables. So we have this cable here. It has sub part. The sub part always go to the bottom, and the main goes to the motherboard. Okay, then the same thing for this one. It shows you already, shows you this arrow here shows you the main go to the motherboard, and this is for the LCD. And we're gonna just disconnect like this. We put it here. Alright, so now we have this cable here that needs to be disconnected. This is for the buttons, and we still have another cable here. This cable here is for the antenna, and it's very important. We have 2 screws here, so if your phone, if your screen doesn't come with it, you will need to remove this part and transfer it here, and that's what I'm going to show you soon. So now what I'm going to do, I will just lift up the motherboard. Okay, so the front facing camera, it's glued here, and it has some adhesive around it. So in this case, I'm just going to disconnect the cable, and they will remove the motherboard, and then I will remove, I have a screw here on the 3 screws, 1 2 3. They are holding the charging port part. All the screws are the same, even though these ones here in the bottom, they look like they are shorter a little bit. So I'm just gonna keep them together to put them back here, but don't worry, if you mix them up, it's not gonna be a problem. So now I will pry up this, and remove it gently. Okay, so I forgot to remove the SIM card from here. So we'll need to use the SIM tool ejector. You need to remove this in the beginning. Before you start, you need to remove this. Alright, so now I can remove this part easily. Alright, so now we have here the battery, the antenna, and front facing camera. Those are very important. So I will start with this one. So to remove the antenna, we'll need a tri-point screwdriver. I forgot to mention that we will need it. So in case you don't have it, you can use a flathead screwdriver, and you can use it to open this. But make sure don't strip. No, it's very hard. It's not easy. Anyway, so we need a flat tri-point screwdriver. Let me find one, and I'll be Okay, so this is the tri-point screwdriver. The tip here, it's like a Mercedes logo. It has just 3 edges. It's not like Philips. Philips, it's like a cross, but this one is like a Mercedes logo. Make sure you find one, or you can use some tools that will fit there, you know. And maybe when you order the screen, make sure you order the screwdriver with it. So I'm gonna open this and open this screw here. And let me see now if I can remove this part out from here. I will just be very careful with this part here. Sometimes even the new one, it may not work. So make sure you remove this carefully. I think I have a screw here that needs to be removed in the corner. Yeah, I think I will need to remove this screw here too. So basically I remove all the screws on the top. So there are 4, and then I can remove this part easily. And now I will transfer this to the new screen, and here we can just insert it and put the screws. Sorry, I forgot to mention that we will need a tri-point screwdriver. It's very important, because if you don't have it, you may strip the screws, then it will be very hard for you to remove them. Okay, so this is the last screw. So now we're gonna move to the bottom here. I'll just remove this plastic which is covering the mesh here, and then I will put the charging port back. Alright, so now here I will put the 3 screws back. I'm using the Phillips screwdriver. Okay, then I will insert the SIM card here. There is a small black prank here. If it's missing, you need to transfer it from the old screen. I will show you that one. So now we're gonna put the SIM card here, and as you see, it's right here. You see this black thing? It's like gray. This one, if it's missing on the new screen, you can transfer this one. Just pull it out and insert it there. Okay, so now let me see what's next. Okay, now we're gonna move to the vibrator. We already have it on the screen, so if you don't have it, you can just use the flathead screwdriver and pull it out from here, but make sure you remove the screws first. No, I think it has nothing to do with the screws. You can just find a small gap somewhere here and remove it. Okay, and now the most difficult part is this, the front facing camera. So for the front facing camera, we will use a cutter, something like this, and we will cut the glue that is here on the side. And make sure when you are doing that, make sure don't damage the camera, because it's very sensitive and you may just cut it or cut the cable, and then the camera will never work for you. You will need to order another one. So for this reason, I'm getting another blade and I'm cutting this one to make sure that they have sharp tip, and then I will just make small cut here. Make sure when you are cutting here, make sure you make the cut close to the edge here, not close to the camera. Alright, so now I feel like I reached to the bottom, and I will do the same thing on this side here. By the way, this is the most difficult part on this repair. Everything else, it's easy. I'm just cutting until I feel like I'm scraping the bottom of the frame. Alright, I think I already reached there. So now I will flip this. This is very risky, but I will make sure to not cut the cable. Alright, I think I already cut it all. So now what I'm gonna do, I will use a flathead screwdriver and I will just pry up gently from the bottom. Okay, I removed it. I don't know why they make it like this. Okay, make sure to not touch the lens here, and just insert the camera back here. Alright, so now I'm gonna remove this plastic, and let me see if I forget something here. I don't think so. So now I'm gonna put the motherboard back here. Alright, so then I will connect the camera cable, and then I connect the antenna cable here and the button cable. If your screen doesn't come with this button, you can just pull it out from here. I mean the power button. For this one it will be very hard for you, so you can just pull this out from here, from this part here, and transfer to the other side. Okay, so now what next? So we're gonna put this bracket here, and I connect the cable, and then we have this bracket here, and we need to put the 2 screws. So we have 1 screw here, and for this part here it has 2 screws. Alright, so now the last thing is the battery. So the battery is right here. So what I'm gonna do, I will just go underneath with this IC semi, and they will try to make a gap. Make sure don't cut the battery, don't damage it. And now what I'm gonna do, I will use this plastic, and they will go underneath. Ouch, it's broken. Okay, cannot continue with this, so in this case I will just continue with the regular plastic. Yeah, that tool is very important to remove the battery, but it looks like I didn't do it correctly. I'm supposed to lift up this a little bit more until I have access underneath. I think I still can have access underneath from here. If it's hard, what you can do, you can just make the gap and pour some alcohol here and wait for maybe 1 minute until the alcohol is fresh. Then you can, the adhesive is fresh, and you can just remove the battery. Alright, so now as you see, the battery has some wrinkles on it. So what I'm going to do, I will just smoothen them with this Sharpie. Alright, so now this still have some adhesive on it, so I will count on this adhesive to hold the battery here. But in your case, in case the battery is not sticky anymore, you can put some strips of adhesive here, one here and one here. This is a double sticky adhesive. And then you can put the battery here. Okay, so the battery connects perfectly here. Now I will disconnect the battery and I will leave it until the end. I connect this cable here, then this cable, the other cables. I think there was a screw holding the motherboard here. I don't know where is it. Anyway, I will just put the cables back. So this is the LCD cable. I will connect it here. Make sure the bottom parts, the main, go to the motherboard. The same thing with this and this. And then we will put this bottom part here. I'm just putting some screws to hold the part. Okay, so then we will put this one here and connect this cable.